We actually have 240 rivers that are at flood stage.
Yeah, one of those rivers is the Gasconade River in Rich Mountain, Missouri, already at historic levels. It's above record stage, in other words. It's in major flood stage, and that's where we find USGS flood coordinator Bob Holmes this morning to talk to us. Bob, we've never seen the gauge this high, and it's still forecast to go up. What does that mean for homes and roads in that area?
Well, there's a lot of roads closed. Essentially, for the folks in this area here, they're having a 150-mile detour to get from one side of the Gasconade to the other. So it's a major flood. And as you said, we're 2 feet above. Right now, as we speak, we're 2 feet above what we've ever seen at this particular location, with it forecast to go another half foot higher.
Okay, so what do you anticipate once it does go higher? Is there going to be? Yeah, can you describe what you think is going to happen to the area?
Well, we've already seen houses floating off their foundations and hitting the bridges. I was just on that Rich Mountain Bridge right now, and we're within probably a half a foot of it going over the top of that bridge. A lot of debris built up against it. So I see a lot of infrastructure damage. You're going to see a lot of major damage changes on these rivers. These are Ozark streams full of gravel. And so there's a lot of local road damage and bridge damage.
So knowing what you know about that area, once this water comes down, what do you expect to find?
Well, we've still got a ways to go for it to come down. The quantitative precipitation forecast is calling for another couple inches of rain. So we'll have a recession, and then it'll blip back up after this Tuesday, Wednesday rain in the area here. But I expect to see a lot of damage. Missouri Department of Transportation will be working with reassessing their bridges, and because there will be probably some structural damage to a lot of these bridges.
And let's talk a little bit about the river gauge. A lot of people don't know necessarily how you guys measure, rivers that go up. Maybe you can describe that a touch. And are you concerned about that gauge breaking? Because I feel like a lot of times we see that happening, or with debris hitting the gauge.
Yeah, last night the folks out of the office in Missouri had to go in and install a temporary gauge, because right now the water is over the top of the existing gauge structure. So they went in and installed a radar unit, and essentially what that is, it's got a satellite antenna, and it has a radar unit that bounces off the water surface, and they surveyed in the elevation of that radar unit, know what it is, and so then they can tell the level of the river. That gets broadcast by the satellite back into the USGS computer system, out on the web, and to the National Weather Service, so they continue to have those readings that we provide them to make the river forecast.
Impressive.
Bob Holmes with the USGS this morning, talking to us about incredible scenes, certainly along the Gasconade River this morning.
Record-setting scenes.